always have to keep going to another level. So I stand on the shoulders of my successes and my trophies, but I don't sleep in the trophy room.
No sleep.
What up, what up? My name is Los Antonio. Welcome back. This is No Sleeping in the Trophy Room, the conversation fueled by motivation, experience, and truth. And tonight, I'm super excited to have my two guests here. These two gentlemen right here have redefined what an active lifestyle looks like for Latinos and many across the globe. They're doing amazing community work where they're from, Uptown New York City, Washington Heights to be exact. Ladies and gentlemen, one time for Hector and Josh, we Run Uptown. What's going on, fellas? Thank you guys for taking the time to pop into the trophy room, man. Really appreciate it. So guys, I want to start where it all started for you, Washington Heights. Talk to me about, some of the early lessons you guys learned and what it's like coming up for Washington Heights for nobody who's ever been there.
I mean, you live there, so you can start.
Oh, yes.
I'll come in as a resident later.
Washington Heights. Some of the most important lessons that you learned early on, this was something that my mom always told me was mantente la boca callada, And it's important, and I feel like that's something that that Josh will agree with, but just if you see something, be quiet, no sea chimoso. It's not your business, mind your business, stay out of trouble. So and to wrap it all up, it's just stay out of trouble. Your mouth will get you into trouble,
Right. Very true. I mean, they say, if you see something, say something, but Uptown.
It's very different. It's very, 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 very different uptown, but it was just like, just stay out of trouble. Another lesson was, and I'm gonna jump from English to Spanish, my dad sat me down at a very early age, and he said, en la vida hay dos tipos de hombres. Hay hombres que dan pa' delincuente y hay hombres que no dan pa' delincuente. Tú no das pa' delincuente, And that was like my dad telling me the streets was not for me, He saw the crowd I was hanging out with, he saw who my group of friends were, and he just knew that I didn't fit in. And they kind of knew that I didn't fit in there as well, But these were like two key lessons that my parents told me early on.
So that really helped shape your perspective, like on life early.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know where I would be now if it wasn't for the parents that I had and like them being on top of me constantly.
Right. No, that's real. What about you, Josh?
I mean, for me, I grew up in the Bronx, pretty similar to the Heights. But as I got older, one thing that always stuck with me was family and loyalty. When I was younger, I had to bring my brother everywhere with me. He was
your little brother?
Everywhere. Anywhere I went, to the movies, to the bowling, anywhere I went, I had to bring him. And me bringing him everywhere, like, now making me realize how important, like, it is family.
For real, especially when, when you're looking out for your older brother.
Or your younger brother, whoever it is, anybody, mom, dad, cousins.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of family. I didn't have a lot of family in New York City at the time when I was growing up. So my family was, my intimated family, and then my cousin and my aunts and uncles that were around.
Right.
Like, when we were growing up, it was me, my brother, and my cousin everywhere.
Tight.
Everywhere we went, and still to this day.
That's family, man. Family's everything, And just talking about, just expanding on, growing up in the inner city, how would you guys say that your access to a healthy lifestyle and just an active lifestyle in general was when you were growing up? Like, was there a lot of activities? Was there access to certain things?
Yeah, so for me, I was lucky enough to grow up across the street from a park. We had PAL, Police Athletic League, back in the day. Like kind of sponsor, and for anybody that's not familiar, they basically set up a bunch of games for kids to play, keep them out of trouble, basketball tournaments, stuff like that. So I was fortunate enough to have that across the street growing up.
Nice.
Even though a lot of the kids that I grew up with today are either in jail or they're not with us, So I kind of like had a good mentor when I was growing up and kind of kept me away from all the madness that was going on around me. So,
that's super
I'm
important.
grateful for that, And I think that like one reason why We Run Uptown exists today is because I was able to experience like a place where I could feel, safe. And that's kind of what we provide uptown.
No, for real. Because, especially when you're young, you need that. You need a place to grow. You need a place to feel free and be a kid and grow and learn.
Yeah.
You know?
Straight up.
What about you, Heck?
I feel like Uptown access to fitness and just a healthy lifestyle is very, very limited, at least growing up.
Right.
I feel like now as we get older, you start to the neighborhood has changed a lot, but like growing up, if you either played baseball or you played basketball uptown, you know, and
Football in the winter.
football in the winter, you know.
That was it.
I wasn't good at any of those sports, so I dabbled in basketball, like at it was called like YBL, like Youth Basketball League. On Saturdays, you would go to the school, you would bring two canned goods and $20, you would get a T-shirt, you were on the team.
Oh, that's dope,
I wasn't any good, you know. All my friends were great. I wasn't good. I think my parents went to one game and they threw me the ball. I made a free throw, one free throw. That's the only point I ever made in the 16 weeks or whatever. But it was exciting. My parents were there. But it was very limited growing up, and I feel like even like food options now that the neighborhood is changing and the neighborhood is being gentrified, and there's like pros and cons to this. But
For sure.
now we have health food options like a pick and eat or
And a whole bunch of juice bars too.
juice bars, coffee shops that have alternative milks like oat milk and almond milk. Growing up, we didn't have access to any of these things,
Right.
and we didn't even know these things existed. You know,
And that's really the point, is that it's like, you know, you guys co-founded an amazing running club, but it's like you guys didn't come up, you know, kind of in running or like, you know.
I mean, to be fair, Hector thought it was something that he created. You know what I mean?
yeah, it was like
That he can't.
it was a bunch of hood dudes running in like basketball shorts and like champion conehead hoodies, and we were hype. We were like, yo, we started this. Like, we're
You
gonna
know, we like squad deep. Yo, we out here running 5 miles today,
ski
6 miles
mask,
next
you know,
week. All this.
we about to take over, and you know, like we were running up blocks that we hung out on, and it was dope. It was dope for us to understand that we did not create this. You know, that this had been like there were other
Yeah, once we
black and
found
brown
out,
people running.
Yeah, once we found out, it was like, oh, damn.
Right.
We
So,
the new boys.
so I kind of want to fast forward to that point right there, your first run. You know, what was the inspiration behind you guys getting out there the first time, and what was some of the first like immediate, you know, things that you realized with that first run? Like, what were some of the first benefits that you
Like
were
the first Wru Crew
First
run.
official run?
maybe the one that you fell in love with running, that you were like, you know what, I think I want to do more of it.
I want to say that was the first one that we ran that we ran all the way to 155th, from 225th. From 225th to the cemetery.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was we
Yes.
we
that was
organized
the dude from- yeah,
we organized the flyer, and Josh wasn't even heavily involved yet with that.
Yeah,
It was
no,
like
I was still
it was me and Maria.
I was just still putting up like I met him through like a mutual, and I started to fall in love with it to a previous one before that, but
Right.
this one actually we included everybody from like bikers to skaters, because we wanted everybody to
For
come.
sure, for sure.
You know what I mean?
We had a lot of people saying that they didn't. They
Kind of like
couldn't
an
run.
open door.
Yeah, like open
Yeah.
door policy. If you don't run, bring your bike. Come through.
We didn't know what we were doing either. If you look at the pictures, we have like cotton t-shirts, and now we don't mind running in cotton tees, but we had cotton tees, huge basketball shorts. There were people in Air Force Ones, Jordans,
People on bikes, like
skateboards, bikes.
wilding,
like-
yeah, just running down Broadway.
When we did that and we saw how many people showed up who were not runners from our neighborhood, we knew we had it. We saw that and we were like, all right, cool, we could definitely do this. And Run Uptown it was just hashtag We Run Uptown. It wasn't Wru Crew yet. It wasn't,
It was just a hashtag.
we were just meeting up whenever I had free time. Like I would
The notes, the
The
good.
notes.
Remember when people used to do the notes on IG? To
Oh,
post
right,
like
right,
the
right.
thing?
write something in notes, screenshot it, and then post it. And like, yo, meet us here. And we
Super
would do that.
grassroots.
Yeah, it was very, very organic. We did not know what we were doing. And after that run, I think we sat down and we
I think it was after that
It was
run.
me, you, and Dan. We sat down and it was like, yo, let's do this. We have the people want to run. They want to do this. We just have to make this, solidify this, and make it and polish it, make it look good. And that's where Josh came in.
So you guys felt the community embracing what you guys were doing.
We had 100 plus people.
Everybody was like, when y'all got running again? When y'all doing this again? We were like, shit.
We're like, damn, we don't.
don't know if I could curse.
Yeah, we don't know if we're gonna, like, we didn't even think it was gonna get that big. We had our runs before that were maybe like 4 to 5 people.
Like super light. Super light, super cold. We were meeting at at the terminal?
At the terminal, yeah, at the terminal. And I feel like for me, that run just made me realize that we had something tangible. Like we had a real movement.
So when you guys are introducing a whole new movement, a whole new way of life, a new activity, to you and to your friends, to your peers, what are some of the uphill battles that you guys go through? Like what were some of the you know, some of the things you heard back from people when they're seeing new things? You know, sometimes people are a little reluctant to change.
For me, I heard that a lot, was like, yo, it's corny. Like, you guys are corny. Like, what are you guys, like, there's nothing cool about running. You know, like, I have a background in streetwear, and like, that's what everybody knows me from, like sneakers and clothing and stuff, and other guys on the block. And like, nobody from my hood wanted to run with me. They were like, yo, you're bugging, bro.
Why are we cold? Why you wearing shorts in this weather? Like,
and I feel like slowly but surely, consistency, and people started to say, this isn't a fad. This isn't something that Hector's picking up and is gonna drop.
Right, this ain't going nowhere.
Nah,
this is,
man. And I feel
lifestyle.
like that's what people appreciated, and that's what people that's why people followed. And people wanted to join, and they wanted to see what was
real.
And the girls too. The guys didn't want to come out until my sister's friends started coming out. Like, when Adi's friends started coming out, that's when we got
we literally were learning as we went, you know, like, all right, how do we get more people to come? All right, we're gonna have to start bringing our friends. Most of our friends are guys. All right, how do we get more females to come? Invite your sister, tell her to bring her friends. Like other
smart,
friends, like, and it's just a whole cluster of people, of friends just coming to support, even if it's just one run, like one picture with a bunch of people, gets other people curious.
A lot of women at first felt intimidated. You know, it was the summer, it was warm, and there was a bunch of guys.
Right.
And we created that safe space, you know, and plenty of times Josh and I pressed people at the run that said something that just did not fit with our values.
Right.
And this is something that we constantly had to do because of the background of the people that were joining
the
the
upbringing
runs.
of the people that
absolutely.
Runs,
and you guys are building a brand. You guys are cultivating a vibe. You guys are, you know, creating a real community. So,
you know, and that's something like we strive on. Like if someone doesn't feel safe, there's a problem.
Yeah.
If there's 100+ runners there and one person feels unwelcome or uncomfortable, we have to check that right there and then. Like, you know, why is this happening and how can we fix this? How can we make you feel at home?
yeah. You know, 2 weeks ago when I joined you guys, which was an amazing run, you know, I thought it was really cool that you guys had like the front of the pack, the middle, but like, heck, you know, you were standing like behind for anybody who was in the back and making sure everybody was kind of like just navigating the right way and making sure everybody was good. And, you know, I thought that, and my girl was with us too. And my girl was one of the people in the back, and she was kind of like, I was checking on her and I saw you checking on everybody. So I, you know, salute to you. And I thought that was really dope, man.
Thank you. That's a part of it as well, man. It's just like, if you show up, and I feel like a lot of the group runs in the city, they say all pace is welcome, but that's not true, you know?
Right.
And you show up to this run at a 10-minute mile or a 9-minute mile, and you're running by yourself for an hour. And everyone's like a 6:30 or a 7-minute mile, and you're just left behind. I'm never gonna wanna go back. If I just ran by myself in a neighborhood that I don't know anyone in, I should have just stayed in my hood and ran by myself.
No, that's very
so
true.
we wanna make sure, like, especially like we're taking people through neighborhoods that
we're giving them a G pass.
The G pass.
Exactly. Come get this G pass with the Wru Crew.
You know, like giving them access to places that they wouldn't normally be at. You know, especially if they're not from New York or they didn't grow up in the area.
Like that night we ran through Bum Alley, right?
Would you go walk through there?
I would not walk through Bum Alley. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not catch me at Bum Alley. Unless I'm with the Wru Crew, you know what I'm saying?
But it's like something like that. Like, imagine this is your first run with us, and now you're running down this like overpass by yourself.
Yeah.
You don't feel safe. You don't want to do that again. I'm not gonna want to come back.
Yeah, but when I had like 50, 60 people with me, and everybody got the light on, and you guys are shouting out, you know, we run uptown, and it's just like, everybody's,
Come on.
It's the motivation.
It's the motivation.
You guys had everything. You guys had the music going. Everybody had little portable speakers. Like, you know, it felt really safe, man. And something that you told me when we first connected was that you guys been doing this for the past 7 years, and you guys haven't missed a Monday. You know, rain, sleet, snow, summer, whatever.
Always somebody running on Mondays.
Whether Josh and I are there or not, the group is running. Someone's there to hold it down.
So how does that feel, you know, now? How would you describe where Wru Crew is now? And like, you know, 7 years later, you know, you guys are talking about, this thing first started with champion hoodies and basketball shorts just running down the block. Like 7 years later, you know, the logo's encrusted, you know.
We got it tatted, to be honest.
You know, yeah.
We got them tatted on our legs. I mean, it's pretty incredible, to be honest, like to see like two people that have been in the same places, didn't know each other, to like come together to make this.
For real.
And see it come to life and it being what it is today. I would have never thought of it. Like, I was probably just a fad, I'll be out of it in a bit. Nah, it keeps you in. like, that's you and your new running,
Yeah.
adrenaline.
For real, man. It's something that is literally addicting. Like, and for me personally, it's always about the fitness, but I feel like at this point it's about the mentality. There's a lot of discipline that goes into getting up and getting after it.
Just even and I don't mean to cut you off, but even on the mental part, like just to keep you sane.
For real.
I feel like 7 years ago, if you would have told us that we would have been doing everything we did, I would have told you it was a lie. Because we got progressively better every year, and we came harder and we came stronger, and we just like,
a lot too.
I feel like we brought a breath of fresh air to the running community. Josh and I are part of like this bigger scene called Bridge the Gap, where there's like
a whole bunch of people running.
Like what we do in New York. What we do in New York, they do in London, Copenhagen, Paris, LA, Chicago, Tokyo,
Hong Kong, Korea,
Shanghai.
Anywhere, they're probably a running crew anywhere.
You name a major city in the world, and there are people there are running crews there. It's very different from like a club, just because of the dynamic and that. Like I feel like running crews are where like hip hop, lifestyle, fitness all interject.
Yeah.
It's like the hype culture within running.
For sure.
And I feel like we brought a breath of fresh air. We were the youngest crew leaders. If not, we're still the youngest crew leaders. Even though everyone's older now.
For the record.
And
but we want people to be younger than us and do their own thing too. Or you can come to our side so we can retire.
Word up, man. No, but I really love it because it's like you guys, brought, like you said, you guys brought your own flavor to this game. I read something that you guys were like at a race and spraying Coronas at the finish line.
Yeah, that was right here at the Revel.
Oh, it was down the block.
At the Revel.
We did a run.
What was that? It was the Revel?
At the Revel, the Revel Hotel.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, down the block, whatever. And we were doing a run, and at the end of the run, there was like a party. And Hector and I and a few of our friends just had some Coronas and just started spraying them like champagne.
And mosh pitting. And it was just like, we brought that uptown flavor to the New York City
Everybody
running
was just
scene.
like looking at us like, what the hell are these guys doing? Like,
I'm pretty sure people, at first they were like, who are these obnoxious loud dudes from uptown? We were yelling, turn up. Yeah. We were wild, but we wanted people to understand where we came from and what we were about to do to the running scene.
That's amazing, man. So guys, the running community and many across the globe honored the life of Ahmaud Arbery by running 2 miles and 2.23 miles after he was fatally shot and killed. What was your reaction to that, and how did you guys embrace that as a crew?
To be honest?
Yeah.
I felt that. I mean, when we first started, we used to get pulled over by the police all the time. Right. Like a group of teenagers or younger adults running in black hoodies and black shorts at nighttime.
Yeah.
Soon, probably rob somebody or something, or committed like a crime or did graffiti or something. So we used to get pulled over a lot.
Like that?
In smaller numbers. So like, I saw the video like maybe twice and I never saw it again because that could have been one of us,
It was, and like I run at night, because of my kids. I usually run when they go to sleep, and I felt that. Because it just brought me back to like marathon training and how scared I would be running at 3, 4 in the morning for my long run in the Bronx. And just like how scared people would get when they saw me running by. Like anyone like waiting for the bus or something would either clench their bag, no matter what color, like whether they were white or black, everyone would do the same thing. Like why is this Spanish kid running?
Move away.
Like, And I know it would have been different if I wasn't of color. And it's something that we've seen. Like whenever you see someone that's not black or brown running, you don't feel intimidated. Yeah. You don't feel like it's a threat. And I felt it. That could have been me. It could have been you. It could have been one of my kids in the future. It was the whole running community felt that.
There was definitely New York City definitely did a run. I think for his birthday.
For his birthday, yeah, we ran. Everybody ran 2.3. 2.23.
Yeah, same. I definitely went out and I did my 2.23 and it's crazy. It really hit home and. Just it stayed there too. I think about that when I go out and run, and my boy hit me yesterday morning. I been getting up like 6, just getting outside, going for a run. He hit me at like 5:30, maybe it was like 5 o'clock. It's pitch black out, and it was like a selfie vid. He was like, "Yo, I'm out here. I hope you are getting out here in a minute." And I wrote him back, and I said, "Dude, I gotta wait till like 7 o'clock to go outside. Like I can't, because I don't feel safe when it's and it's super dark out, you know, people are gonna look at you different, and you never know what could happen these days, man.
One thing that like we always hear in the running community was like, if you have sneakers, you can run. Like running is accessible to everybody. And I feel like that message changed a little bit after what happened to Ahmaud.
I agree with that.
We don't have that. Like, you know, running uptown is not the same. Running uptown at 3 in the morning isn't the same as running in the Upper West Side or the Upper East Side, you know, or Tribeca at 3 in the morning. There's a different level of fear that we have to have because of where we live, you know, because of the hood that we're in. The other day, someone got shot on 175th and it wasn't even that late. Yesterday, coming out of work, someone got stabbed in the eye. You know, you get what I'm saying? These things happen constantly in our neighborhood, and those are obstacles that we have to worry about. We have to worry about the 33rd and the 34th precinct stopping us and like, do I have my ID on me? Not anymore. I feel like things have changed. Now they know who we are.
At first, definitely.
They were just shutting us down. You know, like the NYPD would come and like everyone on the wall, and like, let's get searched. We threw a barbecue once, and they came with a flyer and said that it was like, "Are you Heck is dead?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." And it was like my Instagram post, and they're like, "Yeah, you guys can't have this barbecue here
Really?
because we got an anonymous tip that this has the potential to turn dangerous." We're in really short shorts, like prepping the barbecue, and we were like in like one of who was there? Who was there with us? Wru, yeah, Wru.
Bruno, yeah,
you know, and like it was embarrassing for us to like
for that person to be there, and then that for that to happen.
You know,
No, for sure. It's definitely embarrassing, you know. But how do you guys like mentally navigate those waters? You know what I'm saying? How do you not let that get to you? Like, do we have to put on like a LED vest when we coming through the streets? Do we need to like, you know what I mean? Or do we just literally run right through it? Like
I feel like we're more aware of our surroundings now, and you know, it's
sure.
like headphones. Like that's something that we tell our people all the time. Stop with the music. Stop. Like you want to be aware of your surroundings. You're running in the street. We don't run on the sidewalk. So you want to be aware. Like if someone's gonna do something to you, you want to be able to anticipate that. You can't do that if you have like your AirPods in at volume 100. You
For
know?
real.
You can't pay attention.
Yeah, that's definitely dangerous. I've almost got hit by bikes, a car, ran across the street. I'm sure you guys have too.
I never run with anything. I don't like
Right.
running with anything.
You should. You don't have your phone on you, your ID. There's things you need, man. You know.
Essentials, but like I like to just be aware and
So guys, community building is a super selfless act that you guys have been doing for the past 7 years. And you know, you guys have proven your point on, you know, what the mission is for the Wru Crew. My question to you is, what's the intention with the next 7? You know, where's your mind at? You know what I mean? Talk to me, guys. Don't leave me hanging, man.
I didn't even see it.
I want to talk about the future, man. You know what I mean?
I think real long term, I mean, you could touch up on the details and all that. Real long term, we definitely want to have a space, but we also really, really want this to keep going, even past when our kids have kids. You know, like we want this to be a legacy. At the end of the day, like I want to be 80 and be walking on the street and see some people that are running Run Uptown on a Monday. You know what I mean? Like that is like the goal. You know, like we don't want it to stop with us. We want like somebody, whether it's our kids or somebody that comes in that's younger and sees it and inspires them to continue it, to keep it going. Like we want it to be like a legacy uptown, you know?
7 years ago, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like we brought the running boom north of Central Park. Right. And we've been able to watch numerous crews start in the Bronx, in Harlem, uptown, and it's beautiful. We like in the next 7 years, we want to see more of that. We want to see more people who are black and brown running north of Central Park. And the reason that I always focus on our neighborhood is because we're often neglected. Uptown is often forgotten, and you know that's where the trend starts.
That's everything above Central Park, by the way. So like,
yeah, that's right.
Including the Bronx, including Uptown, Heights, Dykeman, all of that.
Yeah, that's right. You guys keep all the meats in.
Always uptown, always north of Central Park. And if you think about it, hip hop started uptown, graffiti started uptown,
breakdance,
fashion, Harlem. You think about like
everything. A lot of flavor, all the flavor.
It's all about like setting trends, and I want this to be one of those trends that are set. Health and fitness, making this a lifestyle and not a regimen, making people understand that running, it doesn't have to be for, like, I want to lose weight. You can just run to run, longevity. I feel like that's what we want to teach our people and just educate them on the importance of personal fitness.
Absolutely. I read something, you said that you don't live to run, you run to live. What was it?
I don't live to run, I run to live. You know,
Yeah.
I want to be here longer for my kids, and that was like a fear of mine. And if you think of like, I can't think of my life without running now. You know,
Right.
like whether my knees give out or not, this is something that I want to do. But to touch back on what Josh said about like the physical space, we want to create a space for the youth uptown. Like a rec center, and these are something that Josh and I frequented when we were younger, and they just disappeared.
Like, you got to pay for them now.
You know, there's no access the way that access doesn't exist. And we feel like there were skills that we learned throughout the last 7 years that no one taught us. Josh and I picked these things up on our own, how to create a pitch deck, how to make t-shirts,
marketing in general.
Marketing, how to start a clothing brand, how to start a website, social media, photography, screen printing, resume building, how to pitch yourself to a company if you want help for something. And these are skills that I feel like if we taught the youth of town, it would help them in the long run.
Absolutely.
There's a bunch of 17 and 18 and 16-year-olds that are lost. They don't know what they want to do, and they're probably going to get forced by their parents to walk into a career that they don't want to do. They're going to be miserable. Why not be happy? You know, now why not stay out of trouble? A lot of the programs uptown are usually for the smart kids, for the kids that are out of trouble already.
Right.
Those kids don't need the help. The kid that's already on the right path to Harvard doesn't need an extra push. It's the kid that dropped out of school. It's the kid that missed the first 2 months of school because of issues at home or because he thought he was going to get bullied because he didn't have some fly kicks. Those are the kids that we want to tap into so we can prevent them from like ending up in the street or using drugs or in jail or dead.
Or even the kids who do have that, you know, that smart talent or whatever, and they don't have the access to, their parents can't afford certain things, so they could do things at school that they may want to do, but they can't because they got to be home to babysit their little sisters or their little brothers because their parents is working and things like that. Like, those are the people that we would potentially want to be in our space. You know?
Those are the kids that need help.
Yeah, for real. And they need it, and they need it now. And you know, they're gonna need it always, man. And I feel like, you know, that right there is a real level up to the platform that you guys have created. You know, that's built on, you know, camaraderie, community, health, being active, and you know, you guys, like I said earlier, you guys are redefining what that looks like in your own community. So that's amazing.
This would have kept me out of like Wru Crew, or just if I saw people like Josh and I running, and I was, oh, these guys look cool. You know, these guys don't look like runners. These guys aren't doing this 24/7. They're running, they're partying, they look nice. You know,
people don't just see us running too. Like, they
Yeah.
catch us in places that are hot uptown or outside, or we'll have like really nice clothes on all the time. It's just, we don't look regular like regular runners, you know.
For real.
this would have kept me out of trouble. This would have kept me from going to jail. This would have kept me, not going to jail, but like from getting locked up. This would have kept me, like it would have kept me on the right path because I wouldn't have wanted to get in trouble. Why hang out on the block when I could go hang out with the runners? You know,
Or people that are doing something with themselves. You know?
Yeah, but you know what? It's everybody has their own journey, and I feel like, you know, we all get saved at the right time, and now it's like you guys are impacting lives around the world with what you do. So it's like it's just perfect timing, man. So that brings me to this next segment right here, called Tweets is Watching. So
I don't even know how you found my Twitter, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna ask no questions.
you already know. So Tweets is Watching is a segment where we break down some really insightful tweets that I found. So I'm gonna kick it off with Heck. Heck, this was a tweet that you sent out not too long ago, May 6, 2020. You said there's a special connection that your mind and body share during marathon training. For 16 weeks, you literally break your body down to build it back up for an amazing performance come race day. It's a physical, mental, and emotional roller coaster, but the fucking thrill makes it worth it. Talk to me about that tweet right there.
Man, marathon training for me is, I do a lot of complaining. Josh will,
I hear it all, man.
yeah. Marathon training for me was hard. When I first started running, I jumped right into a half marathon, maybe a couple months of me running, and everyone told me I should probably wait. And I trained my ass off, and I got through it. And we helped so many people in Wru Crew run a marathon before I tried it. I think it was like, what, 4 years of marathoners or 3 years?
It was like 3 or 4 years of people that never ran a marathon in their life. Wow. Like, and we'll just be waiting for them at the cheer zone, like, yeah.
And I remember like we were sitting in my mom's living room eating rabo, and everyone's like, yo, this is your year. Like 2017, you're gonna run a marathon. And I'm like, nah, I'm not ready. And my mom was like, why are you doubting yourself? And like my mom starts crying. She was like, oh, mijo, why are you doubting yourself? And I got a battery in my back. I was not ready whatsoever. I had gained a bunch of weight, and I pre-trained. Before the 16 weeks started, I started training so I could be up to par with the rest of the crew for training.
Right.
And those 16 weeks were horrible. Very hard, very rough. I risked it all. Like, you know, I was getting into arguments at home with my kid's mom. I wasn't seeing my kids. Marathon training is hard. It's a full commitment, you know? Like I was leaving work to go to track on my lunch break, like rushing to track to get a track session in to then rush back, getting to work like super sweaty with my suit on, and it was worth it. It was worth it because I did that on my own, you know? Marathon, when you're training for a marathon, it's you. There's nothing Josh could do to get me to the finish line. He can assist me with the training, he can be there for moral support, but come race day, you have to toe the line on your own, you know? It's you and the race. You're racing yourself.
Man. You ready?
I'm ready, man. I just got fear of missing out, man. I mean, 2020 took the marathon away, but I'm gonna be ready, man.
We'll be back. You'll be back. I did New York. I said I was never gonna do a marathon again. I signed up for Chicago. I dropped out the next year, 2018. Things weren't working out for me when I started marathon training, and I pulled out maybe 10 weeks into training just because I needed to focus on my family. I needed to focus on my kids, and once again, I was doing focusing more on the training than life at home.
Right.
2019, things got a little better, and I did Chicago. Amazing race. Literally ran Chicago, and I was like skipping around, FaceTiming everybody. Like, yo, I fucking did it. There's like a clip of me at mile 23 pouring a beer on my head. Like, find another marathon and sign me the fuck up. And it was amazing. Signed up for Berlin that same night.
He has a challenge actually for Berlin.
You know, Berlin. Jason will soon come. You know, Jason doesn't know what's coming for him next year.
There's a wager going on for that one. So we're gonna see.
High stakes. So I'm gonna get into the next tweet. Josh, this is you, man. You said, my progress of healing mentally and emotionally is slow, but it's getting done. I think this is really deep, man. I definitely want to hear it from you first.
It is. A lot of people, I'm very private. Right. So a lot of people don't really know me like that. But the people that do, they know I go through a lot of stuff mentally. Like I was shut down completely. I'm a creative, so we have those mental breakdowns and, you know, things where we start to think, well, we can't do stuff, but we can,
right.
Things like that. Everything from relationships to with, you know, family or females or whatever the case may be, work. You know, we always break down. So the last year or so, definitely been taking more time for me. And I think that's very, very necessary. And I'm a very, yo, you need help? I'm giving all my energy to everybody around me that needs help. Cause I know I'm in a position where I could help people, you know what I mean? So this year I was just like, yo, heck, I'm gonna take off running a little bit. I need to just work on myself, you know, eating right, getting my body right.
Abs.
Get the abs right.
They've been there. They fire now, but or just even like, you know, being more talking to people more, like more communicating effectively with people.
Yeah.
Learning a lot of things about myself, you know.
That's really important, man, because us as men, you know, it's sometimes, you know, and to be honest, we were brought up to not show emotion.
So
exactly.
So we I think Hector and I are doing a really good job of like taking the good stuff off of the things that we grew up like learning.
Yeah.
Like anything from values to how you act and things like that, but also throwing in all the stuff that we learned, you know, by ourselves that is actually a solution, a short-term solution for the things that's going on in the world right now, because everything changes eventually, you know, so we got to change as well with it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Definitely can't stay stagnant.
You cannot. So that's where that tweet came from, to be honest.
No, that's real, and I felt it when I read it, man, so that's why it ended up right here. Tweets is watching. So So heck, on June 2nd, you tweeted, "We gotta hit them where it hurts them, not where it hurts us. Shout out to everyone out on Fordham Road cleaning up the mess."
Shout out to Brent and the squad that actually cleaned up, you know? Just wanted to throw that out there. They, you know, like a homie Brent really went out there.
So for those who don't know, like what was going on over there at that time? Like why were people cleaning up?
Well, the Bronx looting.
The looting.
Hashtag Bronx looting.
I remember getting home that night from work and just smelling like, I want to say sulfur, whatever it is, just smelling fire and hearing sirens. The kids were home with me and just like really being like mentally fucked by that.
Right.
Because just, we were seeing all the looting downtown, like the Rolex store, Louis Vuitton and all that. And I'm like, all right, cool, that's in Soho, like I don't care, you know, that's not in my hood. I don't like, que me importa a mí, you know, destroy Soho. That, they don't have insurance and stuff. And I feel like that wasn't, the looting shouldn't have been anyone's focus, and that was my focus there just because I was seeing the destruction. There's a bigger message behind the looting.
For sure.
You know, it's people being angry and not being heard, and that's the way that they were expressing their frustration, you know? But when I got home, and the Citizens app is horrible. By the way, like when I got home and started watching the Citizens app, it was like a bad episode of Black Mirror, you know? You were watching these things live, and then it was like, I was up to like 4 a.m. that day. It was Twitter and the Citizens app, and it was just like live feed of like the Bronx being destroyed, cops getting beat up. It was just insane. It just felt like Batman had gone to sleep and Gotham was on its own.
Right, just
you know?
apocalypse vibe.
And it was just scary for me because it was so close to home. I remember the next day driving to work and I was like, yo, I'm gonna take the long way. I'm gonna go to Fordham because I want to see how bad it looks. And it was just, I was like in awe. Like I was like, yo, New York went to shit very, very, very quickly. And it was scary for me, you know? And I had conversations with several people, like with Ref and Patty, about like looting and not the importance of looting, but the importance of the unheard, you know, and people wanting to be seen and wanting to be heard, and I feel like that's what it took.
Absolutely.
It took people, you know, destroying their own hoods to wake people up. I feel like New York City is way more woke than it was before everything happened.
And it's crazy too, because you know, not only did people kind of run through their own hood, but they also cleaned it up. You know, you guys.
Brent and them cleaned
right,
it up.
Brent
I just want to make it very clear.
But you guys definitely took care of your own in a situation where nobody else was kind of trying to help out. You know.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even clean up downtown, I think. They just let the city clean it up.
Yeah, the city wasn't gonna come to the Bronx to clean it up. The city don't care about the Bronx.
So it shows you a lot.
Yeah, but the Bronx took care of the Bronx, man, and that's a powerful message. You know, that shows unity, man, and that
is the message.
You know. So yeah, man. So going into this last tweet, Josh, on September 17th, you tweeted, "The master never shares all his secrets." You know, we're here live in the trophy room.
We ain't showing no secrets today.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Sorry.
This platform right here is all about motivation, experience, and truth. The world needs to know at least one secret from the master.
Be true to yourself.
Be true to yourself.
Yeah, if you got that gut feeling with anything in life, like definitely just stick to it.
Word.
Definitely just stick to it. And actually, the reason I posted that was, or the reason I tweeted that actually, was because there's a lot of things going on, especially like with running and like with fitness and everything. Everybody's like trying to just, you know, nobody's really working, so everybody's exploring all these hobbies and things like that. Mm-hmm. And you can always give a handout to whoever you want to give it out to, but you never give out all the sauce.
Absolutely.
You know,
you got to keep some in the reserve.
Some in the reserve. You know, and it's the same thing like with us. Like, we haven't been doing much since, you know,
by choice,
but you know, we got some stuff coming.
Quick sidebar, do you guys feel like COVID birthed like a whole bunch of other runners? Do you feel like people like,
a bunch of everybody.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because I felt
which
like,
is great.
Yeah, I felt like I got kind of bundled up in that because I jumped on like a few months before that, but then all of a sudden COVID hit and all these people became runners. I'm like, damn, man, I've been here for like 4 months. The fuck is going on?
To be honest, the more the merrier, because that means that everybody's on the same wavelength, you know, whether it's mentally, like, if you're running, you're gonna experience one or the other, like whether it's through fitness that you wanna do it, you wanna do because of fitness or because of your mental health or whatever, it's always gonna grab you towards one of those things, you know, so.
I feel like COVID fucked a lot of things up, but it actually helped a lot of things. Like Wru Crew, people were dying for Wru Crew to get started. People were begging me and Josh to start.
We were still running on Mondays separately or together, just us two. And then it got to a point where I was just like, yo, heck, we need to run. Like, we really need to just run around with all our people.
That's it.
And everybody felt the same way.
Yeah, it was the only release we had, you know, just to get outside and get after it. And, you know, that's something to chase, that's something to look forward to, and that's something that, you know, COVID couldn't take away.
The final straw for us was when they opened outdoor dining. We were like, what, if Dykeman's about to be open? Like, Dykeman was crazy the day before. It was like, if this is what Dykeman's gonna look like, we could definitely run. Like, no, there was no social distancing that night on Dykeman, you know, the day that's outdoor dining started.
Yeah. So guys, the good folks from New Belgium Brewery sent over some cold ones for us. So
we drinking.
You know,
let's get it.
You got us. So the good thing about what New Belgium is doing is this is America's first certified carbon neutral beer, and you know, they're protecting the air and the environment that we run through their carbon neutral production. So shout out to all your amazing work, and shout out to Fat Tire, man. So guys, we're gonna wrap up this interview, and how I wrap up all these interviews on Trophy Room is, you know, we ask for your champion's mantra. Is there a saying? Is there a ritual? Something that you guys, you know, live by that keeps you guys tapped in? You know, talk to me.
I got like two. Flow like water. Bruce Lee, everybody know that one. You know?
Up.
Everything adapts, changes, and then.
I rock with that one too, man. I'm a Cancer, so that my
I don't know
thing
about
is
the
flow
horoscope
like water.
things, you know what I mean? I don't know nothing about
Yeah.
none of that. But another one, one of my coaches, Knox, actually said it. It's a silly quote, but it can apply to a lot of things. Streets ain't for everybody. That's why they make sidewalks.
That was hard.
You feel me? Shout out to Knox on that one. Because that one right there, you know.
You gotta explain that one though.
You can apply to a lot of things. I mean, streets could be work or the streets in general, but at the end of the day, is the hard way or the sidewalk is the easy way, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
For real.
You could do something or be somebody, or you could just be somebody on the sidewalk like everybody else. You know?
No, that's deep, man. What about you, Heck?
For me, it's Ponte Pa Lo Tuyo. You know, I just recently got it tatted. I can't show, I got pants on, but like I just
Got the breakaway joints?
recently got it tatted on my thighs. It was, for me, and just to translate it, it's like get on your grind, you know, like or stop slacking. And something that my mom constantly told me growing up, like I slacked a lot, and it was always like Ponte Pa Lo Tuyo, Ponte Pa Lo Tuyo. But like in March, my mom told me that, and I was going through some stuff, and I wrote it on a Post-it note, and I put it on my door next to my keys. And every single day that I left my apartment, I read that Ponte Pa Lo Tuyo, Ponte Pa Lo Tuyo, and it just like it motivated me, and it gave me what I needed to keep going. So I got it tatted. So whenever I wanna start slacking or I feel like I fall off, I just gotta look down on my legs when I'm running, and I know I gotta get on it. Ponte Pa Lo Tuyo.
Or in the mirror.
Or in the mirror, in the mirror, man.
It's not backwards?
No, that's amazing, man. And you know, things like that help us elevate through life, and you know, we hope that helps you elevate through yours at home. And fellas, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to stop in right here, No Sleeping in the Trophy Room. Thank you for sharing your journey. I look forward to everything that you guys are about to do, and I will be there at the next meetup, man.
I love it.
And,
Okay.
I'll be there for real. So, ladies and gentlemen, Wru Crew, appreciate you guys for coming through, man. Word up. Yeah.
You always have to keep going to another level. So I stand on the shoulders of my successes and my trophies, but I don't sleep in the trophy room.